The Great Depression is crushing American farmers. Prices are collapsing, crops are rotting, and Congress is desperate for a fix. So lawmakers come up with a bold plan: tax agricultural processors and use that money to pay farmers to grow less food. The idea is simple: shrink supply, raise prices, save the farm economy. But there's a catch. Agriculture has always been a state responsibility, so the Supreme Court had to decide, is Congress helping farmers or secretly trying to control an area the Constitution leaves to the states? Welcome to United States versus Butler, the case that drew one of the first big lines around federal spending power. This is 99 Rights Online. Here's what actually happened. Congress passed the Agricultural Adjustment Act, AAA. It taxed companies that processed agricultural goods. Think cotton gins, grain mills, meat packers. That tax money funded subsidies for farmers who agreed to cut production. On paper, the tax was legal. But the Supreme Court looked deeper. The justices said three things. 1, the tax wasn't really about raising revenue. 2, it was a tool to pressure farmers into following a federal production plan. And 3, regulating agriculture is a state, not a federal power. The court made two huge constitutional moves. First, Congress's spending power is broad. It can tax and spend for the general welfare even in areas it can't directly regulate. Second, that power has limits. Congress cannot use its funds to coerce states or force them to adopt federal policies in areas the Constitution reserves to the states. In other words, Congress can spend, but it can't use spending as a backdoor to control state matters. Because the AAA's tax and subsidy scheme was really a disguised attempt to regulate agriculture, the court struck it down. So what did the Supreme Court decide? Well, the court says the spending power is broad, but this program crosses the line. Basically, the trolley was unconstitutional. Congress may tax and spend broadly, but it cannot use financial incentives to invade state authority or do indirectly what it has no power to do directly. Why does this matter today? Because Butler laid the foundation for modern federalism, shaping how Congress designs spending programs, how states protect their autonomy, and how courts police the line between cooperation and coercion. In short, Congress can offer money, but it can't use it as a weapon to control the states. Butler still matters because it cements the Hamiltonian view that Congress's spending power is broad, far broader than many thought at the time, and it draws a bright constitutional line. The 10th Amendment still limits federal spending programs. In other words, Congress can spend big, but it can't use that money to boss the states around. Thanks for watching. This was 99 Rights Online. Subscribe for justice that hits different. Like this? If you found this information helpful and inspiring, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with your friends and family.